A lot of people struggle to understand the concept of synodality. When Francis was talking about it a lot and doing this synod, how do you understand synodality? How would you define it?
I think that synodality is an attitude, an openness, a willingness to understand that, speaking of the church now, that each and every member of the church has a voice and a role to play. And that through prayer, reflection, the method that was used in the recent synod, which has been called conversation in the Spirit, but through a process, and there's many ways that could happen, but of dialogue and respect of one another, to bring people together and to understand that relationship, that interaction, that creating opportunities of encounter is an important dimension of how we live our life as church. Some people have felt threatened by that. Sometimes bishops or priests might feel synodality is going to take away my authority. That's not what synodality is about, and maybe your idea of what your authority is somewhat out of focus, mistaken. I think that synodality is a way of describing how we can come together and be a community and seek communion as church, so that it's a church whose primary focus is not on an institutional hierarchy, but rather on a sense of we together, our church, and each person with his or her own vocation, priests, or laity, or bishops, missionaries, families, everyone with the specific vocation that they've been given, has a role to play and something to contribute. And together we look for the way to grow and walk together as church. It's again an attitude which I think can teach a lot for the world today. I think that if a little bit ago we were talking about polarization, I think this is sort of an antidote. I think this is a way of addressing some of the greatest challenges that we have in the world today and saying, if we listen to the gospel and if we reflect upon it together, and if we strive to walk forward together, listening to one another, trying to discover what God is saying to us today, I think there's a lot to be gained for us there. And so I do very much hope that the process, if you will, that began long before the last synod, at least in Latin America, and I think I've spoken about my experience there, and again, some of the Latin American churches really contributed to the Universal Church. But I think there's great hope if we can continue to build on the experience of the past couple of years and find ways of being church together, not to try and transform the church into some kind of democratic government, which, if we look at many countries around the world today, democracy is not necessarily a perfect solution to everything, or at least the way that, with its limitations, it's moving about. But respecting, understanding the life of the church for what it is, and saying we have to do this together. And I think that's offers a great opportunity to the church, and offers an opportunity for the church to engage with the rest of the world, which again, since the time of the Second Vatican Council, I think that's